Look at that peanut butter nugget. Oh my god. If someone was deemed to have a disability, they would sterilize them. It's an anthology horror series of a bunch of different indigenous authors. A trans teen coming of age story in the Appalachias about being black in the time of Jim Crow. Except it's just the human experience as a woman.
The cucumber accents the water in such a way that...
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Short and Stoned here, but if you're new, you can call me Kelly. I'm a Canna advocate, medical patient, and retired solventless foods entrepreneur. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking some eddies and talking about every horror book I read in the month of October. Ha! I have 14 on my TBR. It is the 28th. So far, I've finished 11. And I have The Shining, Bat Eater, and Other Names for Cora, and Where the Dead Brides Gather that I'm all reading right now. The Shining is so good. Okay, wait. Let's take some eddies first. I have this sweets sample pack by the Hemp Doctor. I love their formulation and it always just tastes the best. I think I'm gonna do these peanut butter nuggets. It's 15 CBD and 15 the good stuff. So I think I'm gonna do 2 of these. Interested in trying out any of their products? Head to the pinned comment and use my link for 10% off. Oh my god, look at that peanut butter nugget. Oh my god. So good. Oh my gosh, I can't stop at one. Alright, so I have my Fable pulled up. So like I was saying before, I've read 11 books so far, and I'm currently reading Where the Dead Brides Gather. It is a Nigeria set horror book. I'm also reading the iconic Shining again. Love Stephen King. This book is so good. It expands on the movie. I used to live in Colorado, and I used to go around to the Stanley Hotel all the time. So I know exactly all of the locations it's naming, but anywho, love The Shining. It's so good. And I'm also waiting to finish Where the Dead Brides Gather, and then I'm going to quickly read Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora. It is about a horror story set in being Asian during the time of the pandemic. That's kind of like the first book I read this month, Ring Shout, and it was just about being black in the time of Jim Crow. And I think reading horror that are set like this, that are more historical fiction as well, just gives a different perspective into a different person's lived experiences during such a trivial time when these groups of people were so oppressed. It is a privilege as a white woman to read about racism and not experience it. And again, I just think reading like that is so important to recognize privilege, but to again acknowledge and learn about certain times of history when these minorities of people have been sadly very oppressed. Another book highlighting minorities I read this month, especially with Columbus Day, or Indigenous Peoples Day, I read an anthology called Never Whisper in the Dark, and it is an anthology horror series of a bunch of different Indigenous authors, and they are all Indigenous horror stories, and there was a few in there that were like, I rated it a 4.5 because a couple misses, and then there were ones that like I'll literally remember forever. No spoilers, but like teeth falling out, people cutting off limbs, possession. It was so all over the place. All right, another one I read, Phantasma. Phantasma, I rated 5 stars. I even went out and bought the first one, even though I already read it on my Kindle, and I bought the second one just because they were so beautiful and I need to have them on my shelves. Read the second one ASAP, Enchantra, because I loved it. It was like the darkest, smuttiest thing I've ever read, and I've been realizing that I should never be reading romances. I need to be reading dark romance stuff. But also I love the fantasy aspect, but also it was like the Hunger Games, but more fantasy and a lot of alchemy in it and a necromancy. It was great. I loved Ophelia, and yeah, the romance plot in it, along with just the fantasy driven excitement of these games, it was everything. I love that, raved it. Honestly, I had such a great month reading. I rated all of these reads so freaking highly. Next, we have another Stephen King. I did The Long Walk. Now, I saw this, like the movie trailer, and Steven, my fiance, was like, oh, let's go see it. And I was like, let me read the book. I don't know if that's something I want to like waste my money on. We don't have the budget to exactly go to the movies all the time. So if it's something that I can read the book beforehand and scratch that itch, and I read it, it scratched that itch. I rated it a 4 because I love the concept. I love Stephen King. He wrote this, back in the 80s, and it was under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman. You can tell what the time it was written because I don't like how they talk about women in the story. I know I'm not the only woman who thought this way about the story, and I feel this way about a lot of older Stephen King books. Like It, love it. I reread it this month as well. 1,000-page, 5-star. I love the building, but just again, you can tell the time it was written because I don't like how they talk about women. I don't like how they talk about minorities. Now, obviously, Stephen King has changed and come around. His newer books are different. However, way back yonder, I just don't like all what they're saying. And holy crap, Stephen King's It was so vulgar. So vulgar. And that's coming from a very vulgar child. But anywho, I loved it. Like It, Welcome to Derry. I rewatched the episode twice in 24 hours because it was so good. And the book just really builds on that. You get more of the true backstory of each character. And it's not like first book and then second book and it's split in the middle. Like, no, it jumps back and forth in the timelines a bit more, but I like it. And I really like the satisfying ending to it and all the characters. I love the Losers Club. I love Derry, Maine. I love Pennywise. And it's my favorite horror movie character franchise, period. Love it. But yeah, 5-star. Obviously, I rated that. All right, another one I read was The Lies They Told, and that was about eugenics in Virginia and how they would separate people that have disabilities from other people when they were migrating over here. If someone was deemed to have a disability, they would sterilize them so they weren't allowed to have kids, whether it was with their consent or not. And they just really broke apart families, but then they also, really messed up people's lives. It was just a stark reminder of how ableist our country has been and how we have historically treated minorities. And again, this is another historical horror that I read that is a horror but based on real things that have happened in history. And it is a horror told through the oppressed eyes during a time when those minorities were oppressed the most. I think they're the most scariest horror stories, again, because they pull from very true occurrences that have happened in our history. 5-star. I read Play Nice, the newest debut. I liked the concept of it. I liked the female main character, but times of it just felt a little spacey and distant and boring. The times it was scary, I wanted it to last longer. But yeah, I think I rated that like a 3.5 because I liked it. I liked the setting, I liked the female main character, but main points I look for in a story was just lacking. Tourist Season, Bryn Weaver. Holy crap. 5 stars. The cover, but also the storyline. It deals with 3 different serial killers. One of them is just, I don't want to spoil it. It was just so good. I didn't know I needed so many of those subplots, but also just new plots in general. I didn't know I needed 2 serial killers being in love, but here we are. I'm definitely going to read her other books as well because, again, I love the dark romance. I love the dark funniness of it, but then also the thrill of them being on the lam of being serial killers. So yeah, there's that fun aspect. I really loved it. Compound Fracture. This was the only YA book I read. It is about a trans teen coming of age story in the Appalachians, and I really like this story. I was really rooting for the main character Miles a lot, especially the issues and pushback he was having from people in his life and community and society, but when he found his group, lovely found family. Frankenstein, the classic, Mary Shelley. I wrote my review and people did not like what I had to say online. I guess I missed the point of it. Probably because I speed read it. I was feeling a little bit triggered around the time that I read it based on some ableist comments I got from a psychiatrist. I was adding a bunch of my own context based on my lived experiences, and I wasn't really open to what the text was saying, and I really regret that. If I could reread it, I would. I don't want to reread it. I'm just gonna watch the new Netflix movie that's coming out November 6th on Frankenstein. But yeah, I didn't like it that much. It was kind of boring. I wanted to like it. There were parts I did like. I'm not saying I didn't like the whole thing. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the key takeaway to me that I got, but I obviously interpreted it wrong. It just goes to show that when you have the wrong mindset during a read, it can really mess with how it's interpreted. And what I finished literally this morning, The Bell Jar, a classic, Sylvia Plath. I reviewed this as saying a horror story, except it's just the human experience as a woman. Like the double standards, the misogyny, the hysteria. It's lovely. It's a classic. You should read it. No notes. So those are the 12 books I read, and I'm quite loving the ones that I'm currently reading. I can't wait to get through The Shining, and I love reading. Check out my Fable in the pinned comments, and the pinned comments will also have a link and a discount for these Eddies because I'm feeling great. I'm feeling relaxed. I have something else to film, but I want to go read right now. I'm feeling phenomenal. We got the entourage effect from all the cannabinoids working together right now. Yeah, I'm feeling inspired. I love reading. I love talking about books. Let me know if you want other book content. I be reading 10 to 14 books a month. Anywho, yeah, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below which one of these books sounded interesting to you, as I love chatting with you guys. Since I'm a smaller creator, I can comment back to literally every single one of you, so you should try it out. And hey, if you're new, please make sure to subscribe so we can keep hanging out together, and hit the bell icon so you never ever miss an upload. If you're curious about my type of content, my previous upload was the truth about consumption and driving, and my next upload will be, I'll be debunking the myth that holding in your hits leads to a more intense feeling. I upload full-length YouTube videos every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. PST, and I just uploaded an uncensored video on Patreon of getting crafty with a pumpkin. You'll want to see it. And I upload 6 times a week on my new Instagram page, so go check it out. So no matter how you're viewing, guess I'll be seeing you real soon. Peace. And if you didn't hear yet today, I hope you know that I appreciate you and you deserve some quality time to go cozy up with a good book. Bye.